In 1969, a group of astronauts changed the world. They walked on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In 1972, our journey ended. We've never been back. 2010 begins a year of change. Private companies are working on next-generation spaceships. Governments are looking to go back to the moon and on to Mars. It's time to look up and dream again. It's time to push humans into the cosmos. It's time to educate and engage the planet. It's time for Spacevidcast.
It's Spacevidcast 337 for Friday, November 19th, 2010. We're your hosts, Benjamin and Carrie Ann Higginbotham, and we have got an action-packed episode for you tonight. First off, for you guys watching live, you have a chance to win, bammo, one of these bad boys right here. Why is this cool? This is a little high-def Roku box. What?
Nothing.
Oh, you looked at me like I was doing something wrong.
You said bammo. That's
Bammo!
pretty wrong.
Oh, yeah. This is a high-definition box. You plug your internet into it, you plug your HD TV into it, and blam, you've got Spacevidcast Live on your HD TV.
Maybe one day we'll actually show you what it looks like outside.
I like the purple box.
Cardboard box.
I like the purple box with the old shipping label that I had to rip off the front. So you have a chance to win one of these bad boys. We're giving one of these away during our live shows until the final launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. What makes this so awesome? Well, much like the viewers over at the Space Travelers Emporium right now, you like how I worked that in? Hi, guys. You have the ability to kind of have like a launch party, right? Hook this up to your HD TV, watch in high definition the launch of STS-133, the last launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. Bring a bunch of your friends over. It's kind of like a mini Super Bowl almost, right? You know, just get some food there, cheer along with us. It's a social event. It's fun. It's exciting.
Get some Legos.
Get some Legos, like a little
Get some T-0.
Oh, is that what we're drinking? T-0?
Then we are drinking T-0 because it's darn tootin' good.
Only way to win is to watch live, and I've noticed we've got a few new live viewers in the chat room. We've got even someone from India, it sounds like. So, Hey, welcome to the show, guys. All right, I think we should start off with me screwing up.
Yes.
Yeah, how's that for screwing up? Here's a clip from the last space pod. The reason the vehicle couldn't launch was a leak in the ground umbilical carrier plate, or GUP, which allows the flow of supercooled liquid hydrogen to enter the orange external tank. As Jeff122670 so politely points out on YouTube, that's completely and totally wrong. And he's right, that is completely and totally wrong. The ground umbilical carrier plate actually vents the liquid hydrogen. It doesn't fill the tank. That was such a newbie mistake. Now here's a shot of the ground umbilical carrier plate. It's actually the left side of that whole thing. And that's what's kind of pushing back this launch. And speaking of pushing back the launch, STS-133, if you watched that last space pod, I talked about how there was probably no way that November 30th was going to happen. Well, now on this show, one day later, I can guarantee you there is no way that November 30th is going to happen.
So you got something wrong and something right. Did you get something blue, maybe? I kind of feel like there's,
right?
you know.
Yep, so as you'll see in the rotating banner over here, STS-133, the final flight of Space Shuttle Discovery. You had something coming out of your head for a second. It was like this aura of an Earth
I kind of
right
feel
here.
Like everything is sort of coming out of my head at the moment.
The final flight of Space Shuttle Discovery is now no earlier than December 7th. December 3rd. I don't know where the 7th, I know where the 7th came from. That in that particular window, that gives them the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th as available launch days, and that's it. Then that window closes down due to a problem with the beta angles. So, which was all explained in that last space pod, so go hit that up if you want more explanation on that. However, NASA is asking the questions of the International Space Station guys. There's another potential window on December 17th that opens up. They're asking to see if that may be a possibility. So
And when is that window?
December 17th.
Oh, you did say that.
That would be, I'm just going to Fathom a guess.
I think
the
everything-
December 17th window may be
everything
around December
is
17th.
coming out of my head right now. Go on.
So there's a possibility of that. It sounds like they're doing whatever they can to get this bad boy. That one right there, look, it's just really weird. Now everyone's going to be watching that for the rest of the show. So that's the status with STS-133. They will launch when it's safe, when it's ready to go, and there you have it. So hopefully you've got flex tickets if you bought something for November 30th. All right, speaking of STS-133, the current commander of the International Space Station, known as Astro_Wheels on Twitter, has been tweeting some really awesome pictures. Check this out. That text is painfully difficult to read, isn't
Well,
it?
and
I did not think that through.
He's Astro_Wheels because his name is Douglas Wheelock. And Wheels isn't the only one who's been tweeting these, as we all know.
Right.
Soichi has been doing it as well.
Or did it, past tense.
Yes, sorry, I suppose he's not over there. Anyhow, but so the two of them have just a ton of different twit pics from, there you go, Astro Wheels.
Yeah, you like that?
From the ISS. And every last one of them is fascinating in its own way. It's very, very cool. And some of the pictures they're taking, or some of the pictures that we've seen, particularly from Doug Wheelock, are from, I can't talk.
Use your
apparently.
words.
I know.
Use your words. I love that picture.
Yeah, the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
Right there. See, now I'm calling it the Gupic, and that's not what it is.
Gup.
The Star Wars, the skylight that they put in.
Cupola.
Thank you, the cupola. Okay, there's a really amazing picture
The
of
Star Wars. I got that from the Star Wars.
Yeah,
I know.
because that's what it reminds everyone of. There's a really amazing picture of one of the astronauts. I can't use any of my words today. They all also are coming out of
hit
my
up his
head.
Twitter account. You can look at all the pictures. He's
Yes.
got a fantastic number of pictures on there. This is only a small sampling of the pictures. That's a really great picture as well. Did we already see that one? I don't think we did.
I don't think so.
That is a really great picture as well. These are actually that's from the cupola as well, I believe. But these are all actual pictures of our home planet from space, as tweeted from the International Space Station, flying overhead, traveling at 17,500 miles an hour.
It's
Okay, now we
craziness,
definitely
yeah.
started with that picture.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
It's amazing. They're gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous.
I think so.
And for the first time, I've seen Seychelles Islands, relatively up close. Because the only time I ever see them is on like one of those old school sort of maps. And
sure.
Seychelles, you only see the words because the islands are so tiny they don't even really make dots on them. So that's the only thing I know of. But now I've actually seen what the islands. They're gorgeous.
It's really cool. Twitter.com/astro_wheels, which you saw earlier. And great account to follow, and check out those twit pics. They're amazing. He's got other stuff up there too.
Yeah.
Follow all the NASA astronauts actually. And they all post something really cool. Another great astronaut to follow is Massimino. Because he just does these great videos all throughout NASA, walking around in a very human way.
Yeah.
Not the normal NASA like suit and just like everything has to go through PR. He's like, what do you do? Why do we care?
Right.
What do you do? Why do we care? What's
In
this
a
do?
really
What's
lovely
that
New
do?
York
What's that
accent.
for? What's this do? It's really awesome.
It's more like, what do you do and why do we care?
Exactly. So he's another great one to follow over on Twitter. All right. Speaking of really interesting and fun things to watch,
Yes.
moon movies. There is like this little war. You know how couple years ago, there was, I don't remember how many years ago it was, again.
But there were, I'm sorry, I know. There were a couple of times where this has happened. And
like
it always
Armageddon
seems, right.
and that other one.
Deep Impact. There always seems to be these sort of like the destruction movies or the space movies. Like Space Cowboys came out. There was another one that came out right around the same time.
Yep.
That sort of thing. And now the big thing is moon. Everyone wants to do some sort of movie that's based around the moon, about the moon, on the moon, for the moon,
And if
to
I may
the moon.
interject, the movie called Moon is amazing. Watch that.
Kick-ass, amazing. Please, definitely go see that.
But
that
anyhow.
really was incredible. But there's now a number of movies that are coming out, all with their own particularly different
Slant.
slant, if you will. But a bunch of them are talking about how what would have happened if we continued with our space program as
And John
at the
M.
time.
Knight Apollo 18.
Yeah, Apollo 18, exactly. I'm really excited about that one.
So what's the premise of Apollo 18?
Apollo 18 this is sort of the...
Actually, let me pause you for 1 second before we get into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
The last flight that we took to the moon was Apollo 17. So
Correct.
it's important to know that from Apollo 11 until Apollo 17, less Apollo 13, which did slingshot around, those were the only missions where men stepped foot on the moon.
Right.
And then Apollo 18 through 20 were canceled.
Correct.
Having said that,
So the movie, though, is the going theory that Apollo 18 didn't actually get canceled. We just told everyone that it got canceled. It did go to the moon, and some weird stuff happened, which is why we told everyone that it got canceled. Okay, and it's kind of along the same vein of Blair Witch. This is supposed to be lost footage or stored footage that has now suddenly come to light, and all the strange things that happened on Apollo 18, like while they were on the moon, all the different things that they found, all the different
that sounds like it'll be fun.
people they might have spoken with,
Yep.
those sorts of things. So there's that kind of a movie. And then there's this other one that you just recently found.
Well, there was Apollo 18, and then there was another one.
Right.
What was the other one?
I can't remember the name of it.
Well, it's in the link. Hang on.
No.
What do you
Is
mean?
it?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's in there. Stand by.
Stand
Awkward
by.
silence.
I apologize. Oh, Man Conquers Space.
No, that's mine.
Oh, that's you? Yeah, no, wasn't it that one?
Dark Moon.
Dark Moon.
It's it's the same type of deal. They
Right.
found footage. It's a
It's a found footage, another found footage one.
thriller set on Earth's largest satellite, the Moon. And yeah, it was originally scrapped by its studio Warner Brothers, and in the wake of hearing about Apollo 18, and now the production company Dark Castle is going to try to push it out, but they're going to have to do it either before Apollo 18, because it does sound very, very similar to Apollo 18.
It sounds similar, but the really fun thing is because of this weird, strange war going, we have like another space race going on, but with movies.
It's awesome, right? Because we want to get people excited, and Hollywood's one way to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
As long as they stay not too sci-fi. I mean, they can't go off in too far, right? It's entertaining, and it gets people excited, and that's okay, even if it's not fully correct. As long as people are excited and engaged and willing to put their support behind it, that's great. But there's a point when they just go way too far, and zoom in and enhance, zoom in and enhance.
When we see the Loch Ness Monster on the moon, that's when it's going a little bit far.
So anyhow, actually I didn't find one. I had a Spacevidcaster email me. Eric H. emailed with, I recently discovered your great show and thought I'd pass along some links you might be interested in. Odds are you've already seen or aired these before, but I thought I'd offer them on the chance that they're new to you. And actually they were not. Check out this trailer that Eric sent to us. Yes, please. I'll take two. So as Ron pointed out in the chat room, some of the data is a little old. Obviously, it's permanent crew of 3. Well, now it's a permanent crew of 6.
Right.
But regardless, I don't know. That's manconquersspace.com. And hit them up, and I kind of looked through the website. They've got other trailers on there as well, which are really cool and fun to watch. The thing is, I can't tell what's holding back the production. I don't know if they need more money, if they need more time, if they're looking for a studio.
Right.
So maybe if someone can tell us, any way we can help to get that out, because what a great story that would be. Yeah. What if we actually had followed through? Where would humanity be now?
And kept at the same pace, not just followed through, but kept at that really crazy pace, because they were saying, in the trailer it said something like 1963, first man on moon, 1960, I think it was 8, first man on Mars. Like, that's only 5 years later.
Sure.
That's a crazy pace.
Well,
so,
if you go back, during the Apollo era, the engineers that were working on it full well thought their next step was Mars.
Yeah, absolutely.
They didn't even begin to fathom that they wouldn't be doing that. It was just, next step is Mars. That's the next logical step. And even QG, Quantum G in the room mentioned he had an article. Let me see if we can find that link again and paste it back in there. His kind of whole thing, what if von Braun had won? So there you go. Little linky right there. So yeah, the concept is an interesting one. What would have happened if von Braun won? What if we kept following through with all that fun stuff? Right. And if you look at the spacecraft, it's a lot like the early von Braun models that he was holding up, right, with the kind of like winged plane at the top and the giant swooping rocket at the bottom. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I enjoyed watching that and kind of going, I've seen that craft, never in real life, but like I've seen a model of that. Yep. So there you go. So fun stuff, right? Fun stuff coming out. Speaking of fun stuff, art you can see from space. I have no pictures because this isn't ready yet.
Right. So at this point, yes, they would be for the most part. This is an interesting thing, and it's very reminiscent to me of the onedrop.org.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right?
That was the water.
Right, right. And so this is trying to bring some sensibility or some just publicity to how we're making our footprint on the Earth, how we are affecting our green space, how we are affecting our environment, in different ways. So there's bunches of cities around the world that are doing all of these projects actually pretty much this entire weekend. And if there's some place near you, within reason to get to participate in one of these things, I highly suggest it because this sounds really, really fun and interesting. They have these specific satellites that are going to be taking pictures of these different cities and
that's going to be cool.
Of these different areas, so they know exactly where they're going to be.
Clouds.
Right. Well, there's that. That could happen too. But like in New Mexico, there's a river that used to provide something like 40% of the fresh water for the area, and it's almost completely dried up.
Oh, wow.
Right, so then what they're doing is they're getting like entire towns worth of people to stand in the riverbed.
That's going to be cool.
I would imagine with like some sort of blue shirts or something to sort of represent like this is what it used to be.
And then take a picture from space.
Yes, and take a picture from space.
Is Wheels still going to be up there?
I think so.
Wouldn't that be awesome if he twit picked it?
It's this weekend.
Oh yeah, so he will be. He should twit pick it.
Can you imagine?
That would be awesome, wouldn't he? It's all going to have to line up just right, timing-wise.
Right.
How cool
of
would
course,
that be?
of course. But there's cities all over the world that are doing this. So for sure, there's got to be at least one city in your country. Whether or not that's close to you, that I don't know. The closest one here I think is New Mexico or California. So we really don't have a chance on that. But there is one in Austin, et cetera, et cetera. But you can go on there. It's the 350. 350.org, earth.350.org, and check it out and see if there's a place near you. I think
Can
it's
you
really
host one if you want to? Is it like Yuri's Night where anyone can host one?
Yes, but
like how I slid Yuri's Night in there?
Yes, no, that's a very good one actually. Yes, however, I think the deadline is up because it is this weekend.
Can you just do it anyhow? Just get a bunch of friends over and be
Probably.
like, I'm going to do this,
Probably.
and I don't care?
Yeah, no, I'm sure you.
Then get a really tall ladder?
The one in Canada, they're making gigantic footprints. People are standing.
Paul Bunyan?
Anyhow, there's a lot of different ones, and they have some really interesting artists that are associated with the different projects in the different cities. What, you're laughing at?
I'm laughing at Jet for me, who says, I don't know what Perforce is, but I feel suddenly compelled to buy it.
Yes, and you should.
Absolutely.
Anyhow, but so I thought it was a really cool project, and I can't wait to see the pictures. And I wanted to make sure I mentioned it before we bring up the pictures, because we'll probably bring up the pictures next week.
Oh,
So
yeah,
there
if
you
we
go.
can get our hands on them, because it just sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of cool things, you guys remember a little while back Hayabusa, the little spacecraft
Hayabusa!
that could, right? I mean, it just seriously just had like issue after issue after issue.
Yes.
It limped along. It made it to the, and it finally came back, and it looked like it was like when you look at the re-entry pics, it looks like it's disintegrating as it comes back
It was
down,
really
and you're
cool,
like,
though.
right? And then it comes back, and they're like, well, we don't know if we have any part of the asteroid. We'll have to do tests and find out. Looks like they did. It sounds like Hayabusa is the first. Yeah, goal is the first satellite to go out and pick up pieces of an asteroid and return them safely back to Earth. Now, I was going to show a picture of what it looks like, but it's not what you think. It's not like little pieces. It's not like a rock or anything. It's like
It's not like this.
No, it's like microscopic specks that they picked up. And so I brought it into Photoshop, and I was like, you can't tell what any of this is.
No, you
So-
pretty much could like swipe your finger across your keyboard and go, oh, dust. Yeah, it looks like that.
But
'Cause that's
smaller.
But smaller, right. I mean, it's we can show you a fuzzy picture of
Pete, right,
anything.
like that, Pete, exactly.
Pretty much looks
So,
just like that.
yeah,
so.
I don't really have pictures for you, but if you hit JAXA, JAXA.jp for JAXA's website,
Mm-hmm.
you can go and take a peek at what they've got. It's really cool, though. I mean, this is the first time we've done that. And this is one of the things that we've kind of been advocates of, you know, not just going there with robots. That's
Mm-hmm.
the first step. But the next step is, well, send humans to a near-Earth object.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go exploring. On an
Adventure!
So, you know, that's this is the first step for that, and it's really cool. JAXA's doing some cool stuff, right? You know
JAXA's doing some
those
amazing
epic
things.
pictures of the Earthrise over the moon that are in high definition
with the
that say
moving-
copyright JAXA in the lower right-hand corner because they like to add copyright JAXA to everything they do. Yeah, that's all JAXA
Might
as
as
well.
well.
Absolutely.
I think it's very cool.
So yeah, Hayabusa, success.
Woo!
So yeah, good for them. And we can't show you this video either because of copyright reasons,
We can't.
but we can talk about it.
We can.
And we can tell you where to go to watch it yourself.
That, and we will.
And we shall.
So, you know, because we are space geeks, and we
Skeeks.
do have a tendency to also be tech geeks, and those two have a tendency to collide in sci-fi movies such as Star Wars.
Star Wars.
So
Nothing but Star Wars. Talking about Star Wars coming your way. There you go.
Great, thanks for that. Anyhow, and oddly enough, we have had conversations like this with people like Tim846, who I'm sure you guys know
Tim.
from being in the chat room, as he has a baby girl who's not quite 2 years old, and has said he really has had conversations. The video is, when is the right time for you to talk to your kids about Star Wars? And it's done in a very, very deadpan, serious sort of, you know, almost like the talk, that sort of thing.
I don't even let my kids associate themselves with Binks. He's just
I will do anything I can.
to keep my kids away from Binks.
If I have to dress up as Binks and scare my child in the middle of the night, I will.
I want
that
my
kind of
kid to
thing.
grow up in a world where Han shot first.
None of this Greedo shot first. What was it? Then my favorite part though is like there's 2 or 3 fathers that they are supposedly interviewing for this PSA, and a couple of them sort of go one way on the, you need to let them know that Vader is Luke's
No,
father.
most of them are like, don't let your kids know Vader's. Let them find out on their
Right,
own.
all of this developed for me, over years and years and years. It wasn't just this wealth of information that you're suddenly being slapped in the face with. And there's one father who's like, maybe I will be hated in the community for this, but I believe that it's important that he knows that Vader is Luke's father.
Does that make me a bad father? Probably. I love that. As Heldesk said, a world without hunger, cancer, and Jar Jar.
But yeah, that was the one thing they did all agree on, I must say. I have to point that out. And as much as I love you, Lauren, you're wrong. So, in any case, I thought it was really funny. You guys really should watch it. It made me laugh. And I'm sure, in all seriousness, there are some people out there, some of our viewers, who are parents who maybe you haven't thought about this before, but I'm really thinking you should. You really should.
On that note, that is our show this week. I do want to thank our sponsor who got us all this high-def goodness, Perforce software. They're the ones who make HD possible in space. They bring us the awesome clarity and give us the ability to get you guys gathered around a TV, much like at the Space Travelers Emporium. And I would encourage you guys, hey, look, let's get some small space community, pockets of space community going. Grab a Roku box, even if you don't win one, which, by the way, we still have to give this away. And you know what? Let's do this thing. Let's get a bunch of people gathered around TV, get some, like a thing of chips and nachos and maybe some soda or beer, drinking games. I can definitely see drinking games coming out of this show.
Yes.
And get around your HD TV and watch the show live. And get excited about human spaceflight again. There's some really cool stuff going on with human spaceflight, and this is a great way to be a part of it. Speaking of, I think it's time to give away a Roku. So we have made no decision on how we're going to give this one away. So what do you think?
I don't know. We did numbers last time.
Yeah. Should we do a Twitter contest?
Sure.
All right. Give me a number again.
Let's see. I did 7 last time.
Yep.
14.
14. Oh, hang on. Really, 14.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, really? She's won before, and she wins again. So, a Geek Mom, congratulations. You were the 14th person down from the top of the Twitter search, which you can go, anyone can verify right now. Go to search.twitter.com, search for Spacevidcast, count 14 down, and you'll see a Geek's Mom's name right there. Now, if you're watching this on demand, that will no longer work. But if you're watching it live, it works right now. And so congratulations, a Geek Mom, you have won a Roku box. Well, bam, right there, just like that. If you'd like to win a Roku box, we're giving one of these away every week until the final launch of Space Shuttle Discovery, which you can watch in high definition right here on Spacevidcast.com. Why are we giving these away now? Well, we're going to mail them to you before the launch actually occurs. Right?
So you can see the launch.
On your HD TV. Cool.
Duh.
Huh? Yeah. In addition, I think, you know what? We've got like 3 more minutes before we hit the 30-minute mark. I think we should give away a copy of Mission Clock. What do you think?
All right.
Absolutely. So let's give away a copy of Mission Clock to someone in the chat room. All right, chat roomies, who's here? Actually, I think, you know what? Who here in the chat room wants a copy of Mission Clock? It works on iPhone and iPod Touch.
Raise your hand, say me, scream really loud.
Yep. All right, so W Jack and Jesse SD. Jet for me, that's funny. The two of you, because you answered first, have won a free copy of Mission Clock. Look how that works. You get free stuff by joining us live. If you're watching on demand, hopefully you enjoyed the show, but you get nothing. You get nothing. Join us live every Friday at 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time. For those of you in the United States, that's 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Central Time, or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wait. But that doesn't make sense. Several weeks ago, you gave me different times, Ben. That's right, because we don't honor daylight savings time. So that's the time of the show when daylight savings time is turned, boop, back off when we're back into standard time. Hey, I'd like to thank everyone so much for watching this week. Live viewers, stay with us. We've got post-show up next. See ya 1 week from today.
It's time to look up. In 1969, the astronauts changed. On the moon. In 1970, our journey ended. We've never.
Umbilical carrier plate. It's actually the left side of that whole thing. And that's what's kind of pushing back this launch. And speaking of pushing back the launch, STS-133, if you watched that last space pod, I talked about how there was probably no way that November 30th was going to happen. Well, now on this show, 1 day later, I can guarantee you there is no way that November 30th is going to happen.
So you got something wrong and something right. Did you get something blue, maybe? I kind of feel like there's,
right?
you know.
Yep, so as you'll see in the rotating banner over here, STS-133, the final flight flight of Space Shuttle Discovery. You had something coming out of your head for a second. It was like this aura of an
Yeah,
Earth
I kind
right
of feel
here.
like everything is sort of coming out of my head at the moment.
The final flight of Space Shuttle Discovery is now no earlier than December 7th. December 7th? December 3rd. I don't know where the 7th, oh, I know where the 7th came from.
In 1969, a group of astronauts changed the world. They walked on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In 1972, our journey ended. We've never been back. 2010 begins a year of change. Private companies are working on next-generation spaceships. Governments are looking to go back to the moon and on to Mars. It's time to look up and dream again. It's time to push humans into the cosmos. It's time to educate and engage the planet.
Drinking T-0.
Then we are drinking T-0 because it's darn tootin' good.
Only way to win is to watch live, and I've noticed we've got a few new live viewers in the chat room. We've got even someone from India, it sounds like. So,
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the show, guys. All right, I think we should start off with me screwing up.
Yes.
Yeah, how's that for screwing up? Here's a clip from the last space pod. The reason the vehicle couldn't launch was a leak in the ground umbilical carrier plate, or GUP, which allows the flow of supercooled liquid hydrogen to enter the orange external tank. As Jeff122670 so politely points out on YouTube, that's completely and totally wrong. And he's right, that is completely and totally wrong. The ground umbilical carrier plate actually vents the liquid hydrogen. It doesn't fill the tank. That was such a newbie mistake. Now here's a shot of the ground. This is a high definition box. You plug your internet into it, you plug your HD TV into it, and blam, you've got Spacevidcast Live on your HD TV.
Maybe one day we'll actually show you what it looks like outside.
I like the purple box.
cardboard box.
I like the purple box with the old shipping label that I had to rip off the front. So you have a chance to win one of these bad boys. We're giving one of these away during our live shows until the final launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. What makes this so awesome? Well, much like the viewers over at the Space Travelers Emporium right now, you like how I worked that in? Hi guys. You have the ability to kind of have like a launch party, right? Hook this up to your HD TV, watch in high definition the launch of STS-133, the last launch of Space Shuttle Discovery. Bring a bunch of your friends over. It's kind of like a mini Super Bowl almost, right? You know, just get some food there, cheer along with us. It's a social event. It's fun. It's exciting.
Get some Legos.
Get some Legos, like a little
Get some
shuttle Lego.
T-0.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
It's time for Spacevidcast.
It's Spacevidcast 337 for Friday, November 19th, 2010. We're your hosts, Benjamin and Carrie Ann Higginbotham, and we have got an action-packed episode for you tonight. First off, for you guys watching live, you have a chance to win, bammo, one of these bad boys right here. Why is this cool? This is a little high-def Roku box. What?
Nothing.
Oh, you looked at me like I was doing something wrong.
You said bammo. That's
Bammo!
pretty wrong.
Oh, yeah.